This is the most unique and interesting thrift store I have ever seen in Japan. And one of my favorite parts is that this building right over here is actually an abandoned love hotel with every single room having a different thrift theme on 2 floors. And behind here, there's a whole section of extra rooms and containers for us to explore. And we're gonna check it all out today. We'll start right here on the first floor, but there's all these random items here, like this sign from the Marunouchi College of Business Typing. I wonder how old that is. In fact, this entire room here seems to be signage and old rotary phones. And right in the entrance is also this Sphero-style gyro ball for only 1,000 yen. And then you've got old train signage and whatnot here, and really old, wow, for 5,000 yen for that, 5,000 yen, all of these are 5,000 yen. There's also a random cat over there, and I am an absolute sucker for this old style signage. Like this old post office sign for 4,000 yen here. There's also another one down here for 3,000 yen, but the fact that this is built into an abandoned love hotel with themes for every single room was just so exciting and something that I could not pass up and had to show you guys. All the rooms are connected around the corners like this too. We've been into some really big thrift stores in Japan, but this might not just be the biggest, but might have some of the most unique items as well. Like this entire box here is filled with unopened, old, and most certainly incredibly expired packs of tobacco, cigarettes. But I've never seen anything like that in a thrift store before. Old boxes of matches as well. I got to speak to the owner a minute ago, and they have a really interesting approach to this place. And this entire room here seems to be all old and retro audio equipment, audio video. Like 6,000 yen for this. If you were to find something like this in Tokyo, for example, Akihabara, it's probably gonna cost you $300-400. But there is a reason that everything in here is so reasonably priced. And is that an old projector? Again, 6,000 yen, you get, oh, I am loving this place. And what in the world are you? Just an old word processor. I love this little old TV, and in the same way that they've rescued and revitalized this old abandoned love hotel and turned it into, there's another one, this useful themed space. A lot of the items that they have here are items that were abandoned. You've got a junk cassette player here for 1,000 yen, and even binoculars here, heavy duty binoculars for as low as 500 yen. But in case you're new to the channel, a lot of stuff in Japan, a lot of villages and homes will go abandoned. If you've ever heard of an akiya, where they buy up an abandoned home and revitalize it, they have to get rid of a lot of the stuff, and more often than not, that can be really costly. And so some of it will go to places like this. The entire theme of this place is to collect old things. Look at this old Polaroid camera for 800 yen. Oh, that is 100% going in my taking home list. But they will collect or receive as much of that as they can so that it doesn't go to waste. Super old laptop here and a bunch of instruments, but the owner said something that really put a smile on my face. It was like, the items will often outlive the humans, so we might as well at least give them a new potential home for somebody who might use them or want to fix them up. And I really love that concept, and this is obviously the record and music room with a ton of old tapes in here. This box here, oh wow, this is an entire karaoke set for karaoke lovers, and I am not going to be able to close that with one hand. Maybe I will. Oh, we did it. And the records are cheap as well, at 100 yen, with a set one coming up to 300 yen, and they're all nicely organized as well. Also, any guesses what this is? For the life of me, I can't figure it out. It is 32,000 yen. That would be somewhere just over $200 US with the current exchange rate. and it is such a mystery. But beside the room with all the records and whatnot, you can get a bicycle for as low as 6,000 yen, a ton of work clothes, and then in here it seems to be miscellaneous and Pikachu. It's a 1,000 yen Pikachu with a motor underneath who will chase you around the room and terrify you for absolutely forever. Tons of little miscellaneous items up here, like this Stitch Christmas item or this random Snoopy for 50 yen. I love how it's all priced to go. And what kind of awards do we have over here? Ah, okay. Does anybody know what that is? One of the struggles, and this is consistent across many thrift store videos, is that each one of these sections could almost be just a 5 to 10 minute video all of its own, because it's all packed in here so densely with so many different items. As always, we have a stack of abacuses or abaci, which is just a staple of our thrift store hunting. Also, if you look to the end, we have barely scratched the surface and still have several more buildings and a second floor to get to. But this here says clocks and various, and it's definitely clocks and various, but there are a ton of frog statues in here. And one of the reasons for that is this place is called the Kaeru-kan, I guess the frog house. They've named this place the frog house, and I absolutely love it. And why is a gnome 5,000 yen? That is wild. But I love how we have these like 1970s, 80s retro style clocks. Like, oh boy, do I love this one here. It says it's junk, which means usually it doesn't work or it definitely needs repair. But again, the owner was saying that they keep stuff on hand because people like to repair, so they want to sell it to people as cheap as possible so that it doesn't go to waste and so that people can actually put things to use that might have otherwise just been abandoned and lost and forgotten to time. Every now and then you'll find items in Japan that you don't expect to find, and when you do, you're gonna find them in places like this, just an absolute smorgasbord of items. And what is up with the crate of old wine bottles? Private Reserve, and that bottle was dated 2017, so it's not that old really. But this is actually off of the Nakasendo Trail, just south of the Nagano area. And I really like this little bottle as well. 200 yen, it's got a little cork in it. Old-timey replica pistol. Again, something that I wouldn't have expected to find. And one of the biggest challenges, because I hit so many thrift stores, is just not taking home a bunch of junk. If you've ever seen videos in my studio, you'll know that I already have a collection much more than anything I need, but I will share everything that I get today at the end. Like, they have this tiny little shamisen here in amongst all the kogashi dolls as well. I probably won't grab that, but it is cool. And I love how every now and then there's just random photos like this for sale. Don't know who it is. Don't know what that photo is about, but it is 200 yen if you want it. Also, when I say that this is one of the biggest and craziest places that we've come out to, even if you come out behind the Love Hotel area, there's a ton of, wow, really old, like, anybody can guess what these are? You can get the old style Japanese crates and baskets here. And again, they're priced to go. Like, this is 300 yen right here. Old baskets for as low as 900 yen here. This place is an absolute gem and gold mine. And of course, more abacus. Like, even these old barrels here, you can get for as low as 1,000 yen each. Like, these certainly aren't something the average person needs, but if you do need it, I'm sure a new one would cost you more than 1,000 yen. And this is amazing. This is the first thrift store I've seen that has a medical equipment section. Like, this is all old medical equipment. Like, you get test tubes over here and bins and beakers. There's an, like, what? Like, what? I have questions. You have trays of medical supplies over here. You've got scales up here. Precision weights for 1,000 yen. And then even this here, we've got for 80,000 yen with the case or 70,000 yen without. Or we've got a medical light up here. This is by far the most unique section I have seen in any of the thrift stores that we have visited countrywide. And what in the world have we here? If there's anybody in the medical profession who knows what this is, please let me know. Or these here as well. I am really curious. This place is a gem. Like honestly, show me another thrift store in Japan where you're gonna be able to find stuff like this in case, in good condition. Japanese are really good at taking care of their stuff. But coming out of the medical section here leads up to the second floor over here, which actually has some pretty risque stuff. But I wanna hit up this building and do a speed run of some of the most interesting items here while I'm searching for a gift for a friend who's visiting. I've got a friend with a fun tech job who comes to Japan every couple months and just stays for a few weeks working remotely. And I love that you can live like that today. Not stuck in an office you hate, not tied to one place, but actually doing something you enjoy, exploring the world and still feeling financially secure. Making that kind of choice for yourself isn't easy, but it's so worth it. And luckily there are tools that make it a lot less painful, like today's sponsor, Triple 10. Triple 10 is a flexible, beginner-friendly online bootcamp designed to help people get into those exciting, remote-friendly tech careers and has one of the highest job placement rates in the industry. And even if you're not ready for a full career change, you can look into the AI automation course to stay up to date and use the latest technology in your current job to remain relevant. And the best part is, if you don't get a job, you get 100% of your money back, and that is amazing. Their courses fit into your schedule, whether you're working full-time, raising a family, or just need a program that adapts to your busy lifestyle. So check out the link in the description or QR code to get a free consultation from Triple 10 and start learning a new job and building that new life. Huge thanks to Triple 10 for bringing us out here today, and let's go check out the second floor now. Now the second floor is where things start to get interesting. It's not just because the walls are lined with art like this, but just like any love hotel, each room continues to have its own theme. And it seems like the theme of our first room is just art. And everywhere we go, we seem to be finding another Mona Lisa. There are some things that we're just finding in every single one of these. And one of these rooms is, I almost went down. Really dangerous, but this is the cool room. I love this one. So as we come in, we have the blue room and the orange room. And the orange room is filled with old scrolls and old books and magazines. And it's just a little treasure trove of knowledge in here. And then as we come into this room in here, we've got old Toshiba filters for monochrome and the ultimate knick-knack collection in here. There's just so much to take in and explore. We have old calligraphy sets with ink. We've got old carving tools here. And this, we've got this in case you wanted this on your, I don't actually, maybe it's for sale. This old radio right here. I think it was 50,000 yen, discounted now to 30,000 yen, but it's an old National radio, and National is now Panasonic. We then have typewriter with keys stuck in every single direction. Old accordion here as well, a kabuto, and these brand new can be incredibly expensive. Giant fan over here. This is honestly just the ultimate knick-knack collection. Oh, I love these. Okay, has anybody else used these before? Like the meditative balls? I love these so much. That's almost certainly going into my collection. I gotta pull out my phone and start making a list. Like, yes, I know these are the kind of thing you can find in any Chinatown shop around the world, but where else are you gonna find this is old baby formula from, oh, who even knows when? Does it have a date? No way. So it says 53nen on here, which would be, I think, 1978. Is that accurate? 53nen would be 1978. Baby formula from 19. I wouldn't even. Can they legally sell this? Not to mention the ever-growing collection of old phones. This one is fancy, and I love the collection of scrolls. Like, oh. It's challenging not to open up every single box. Like this one here says best mimeograph, and it looks like it's a form of screen printing. That is incredible. I cannot tell you how much I love this portable cash box that empty probably weighs 25 pounds. And it was 3,000 yen. Also, what in the world is this that it would be 5,000 yen? What? This reminds me of the containers of ooze from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies in the 90s, but 5,000 yen for that. Any ideas? And then as we get out of here, I think it's either the next room or the one after that is the risque room that we need to be careful. Okay, this one still says we have a ton of art in this room here. And then in here, we have a couple old guitars for as low as 2,600 yen for this one. Actually, that one's 5,000 yen down there. And that one is, that's 1,500 yen for that one. But this room here is a treasure trove. These old tin toys here. To see this for 3,000 yen is unbelievable. If you were to go to something like Mandarake in Akihabara, something like that would be running you 30,000 yen, around 200 USD. And you have these old train toys and old bullet trains. I have absolutely no use or space for this, but to see them at this price is amazing. Down here, we've got some old game boards. We've got a Mahjong collection here. We've got the Othello game and a ton more down here as well. All of these old like Mahjong sets and whatnot are really beautiful. I never properly learned how to play Mahjong, only the computer version. Anybody learn how to play? We've got more clocks here, and the one that I actually wanted to grab, unfortunately, is junk. Oh, this would be such a gem if this thing was working. Also, just see another junk one. Every single time I find what I like, it's junk. And yes, this room here is marked as the men's room, and it is basically just a giant VHS collection of adult entertainment, and for some reason this Tekken 6 book, I guess that counts as men's entertainment. You can also buy this painting of this woman, and despite me saying it's all VHS, there's a small row of DVDs here also. Room 206 here is the type of room that I get really nervous to go into, because despite my 2 decades in Japan, I still consider myself to be far more clumsy than I wish I was, and this is the kind of room where it looks like things could get really expensive for me. And we've all seen cups and plates before, so next room, which is an entire room dedicated to things like women's purses and coin purses, wallets, and a ton of women's clothing and fabric in here. A lot of it being considerably older in style, but still really nice. Like if you were to go to a retro thrift shop in somewhere like Harajuku, to find something like this sweater here would cost you probably $200. And this is all Japanese housewares and kitchenwares, crock pots, and beyond. I also swear that these are the exact same kitchen knives that my family had back home in Canada. And if it's traditional Japanese kitchenware you're looking for, the entrance to this room has a ton of it. And for our final room on this floor, I just also love how they've used the bathroom area for each and every one of these rooms. So this is all trophies and a massive collection of old toys. So this probably would have been like a shop that went out of business and they were getting rid of all of this. So this Kaeru-kan took it all over. but they're all kind of like build your own electronics kits in here. And then a ton of stationary stuff and an old Canon. This is very, very similar to the very first camera that I used to travel Japan with. And we have a ton of old photographs and postcards and what? Okay, someone's gotta guess for me what this is. Any ideas? So do you see these little playing cards here? The company Nintendo literally got their start with these. Also low-key in love with just the loose pile of chalk. Did anybody else see that documentary about the Japanese chalk company? I did not know that chalk could be so interesting, but we have an entire extra set of buildings up here, up beyond that hill to go check out. This was maybe half of what this place has to offer. So from the abandoned Love Hotel area, if we come up back here, there's a staircase that leads up to a whole separate extra set of buildings. And I will rate this beautiful little staircase a solid 7 out of 10 with a 4 out of 10 for this. And instantly we're greeted here by a whole collection of old tools. Now, full confession, this is actually my second time coming through here. And both times I've just been amazingly impressed by the level of organization that they have into all of this. Nuts and bolts all separated like this. An entire set of bins for hoses. It's all just beautifully arranged and organized. And last time that I was here, they constantly had trucks coming and running through, restocking stuff and filling things up. Like even over here, you can get bicycles and even an old 50cc scooter here. But again, they're all here to be rebuilt and fixed up. So you can get a bicycle like this for 3,000 yen. In fact, most of them around 3,000, 3,500 yen for all of this. Even 3,500 for this road bike here. And I actually learned a lot from you guys in the comments. Like years ago, I was showing used helmets and a bunch of people chimed in saying you should never buy a used helmet because helmets actually have expiry dates. And you can also buy the bike seats here, which explains why some of them, like this bike here, don't have bike seats. So if you have knowledge that I don't have or that I haven't covered in here, definitely share it with me in the comments because I love learning these little things from you. And as you can hear from the cicada in the background, since we're out in the countryside, having a tool section like this where you can come and get a nice DC transformer for a decent price, or old tools, or angle grinders and everything. This would be really useful for people that need to work on their homes. You can even get lockers and everything up here. And you get a room like this that is all basically storage containers and old gas cans as well. And if I remember correctly, there's an entire building up here just for toys. This whole thing here is agricultural supplies and tarps, which they literally just call blue sheets, even if they're not blue. All of these just count as blue sheets. Last time I kind of fell in love with this. There's literally a jet ski up here and they say you can go up onto it. So I'm actually gonna climb up this little ladder here and check out the jet ski. It's just incredible. Jet ski, despite me having a captain's license for boating here in Japan, jet skis are actually a separate license. Maybe that's something for us to do in the future. Also, way in the back, there's a tunnel that I want to show you guys that is part of the old Japan railways. But this here is the Kodomo Happy Market, so the kids happy market. But before we head in there, it looks like this room as well is, wow, okay. So we've got some kind of rail gun, water gun toy here, a ton of Christmas lights and supplies. This car right here and mats and supplies. But because I'm basically a giant child, a room like this is by far the most dangerous because it is just filled to the brim with treasure and toys. We've got this little, he was here the last time we came here too. I hope you're doing well, dude. We've got all these RC cars and everything down here. This BB-8, which I was really tempted to grab last time. Sherry actually collects BB-8 stuff, but this one's a little dirty. And what are you? You're strange and adorable. And you really need to keep your eyes open because you'll find stuff like this, like in-box Super Famicom for 1,500 yen, 1,500 yen for this. And obviously it doesn't have all the parts and it's got some serious yellowing going on to it. But even just the box alone could be sold on like Mercari or Yahoo Auction for far beyond that. We've got a PlayStation here in junk condition for 1,500 yen. And I'm sure that there's probably more gaming stuff around here if we keep our eyes open. But we've got this giant, adorable Winnie the Pooh. This one's actually really cute and he's only 300 yen as well. So if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan, that's gold right there for that price. The big challenge being getting something like this home. I came out by car this time, but if you're living overseas, for example, I thought it was a chess set. So close. It was checkers. If you're living overseas and you find something that good, there's no chance in the world that you're gonna be able to get it home. There's an entire box here and they roll out of old retro gaming equipment. You got a whole bunch of Super Nintendo, Super Famicom in there as well. And there we go. And then we've got some N64 games, some of them in box, again, for as low as 300 yen for that. That is just incredible. Tucked in here among these like kids' toys, like this one here. Also, this little takoyaki game, I have no idea what it is, but it's adorable and amazing. And there's an entire rack here of Conan manga. We've also got a slot machine here with a ton of coins to play with. And this is around, give or take, 200 USD with the current exchange rate at some yen, 30,000 yen. All the stuffed animals with the most giant ampaman I have ever seen. I actually know the guy who does the voice for Biking Mom. Maybe we can do something cool with him sometime. And we've got these giant giraffes here as well as this little pingu. And over here we have my absolute favorite character of all the Japan characters, Tare Panda. I have an insane collection of Tare Panda stuff to the point where I literally had to stop myself from collecting more because, come on, sit up, because it just became way too much. We have a music box right here and it's got a little bit of a switch, but the actual turner for, so it's a mystery. We'll never know what is in this music box. And has anybody ever noticed the incredible branding of Japan Post and how there's always little Japan Post banks and signs and everything available everywhere? Don't know why I like this rocking boat so much, but I do. And then we have a whole collection of dolls and plushes over here with a ton of children's books. Also, being from Canada where they all need to have orange tips, it's always amazing to me to see just how realistic Japanese airsoft toys are as well. There are so many more buildings we need to go check out. I also love this little giraffe pillow, probably more than I should. And it's only 100 yen. Seems like this place is really made to be fun for kids as well, because instead of do not touch, all of these actually say you can go ahead and ride them if you want. This little bin over here seems to be air conditioners and televisions and air conditioners. There's no air conditioners. Did I read that right? Aircon, yep. Fridges, obviously, as well. Last time I came here, there was a really cool retro fridge, and I'm wondering if they still have it somewhere. You got old stoves in here because this area gets really cold during the winter, as well as a ton of fans and heaters in here. And this whole one in here is antique furniture. And there we go, there's the fridge I was talking about before. Ice cube maker here. Was this the, I think this was the fridge. I just love the old retro grain to it, but really, the TVs here are absolutely spectacular. I would love to have like a retro gaming wall in the studio that's set up all with old TVs like this. Each one of these is just peak TV. Not to mention this radio here too. There's still all of this, and the tunnel that I was talking about is right down there. And then this entire room here is all sporting goods and a ton of it. You get things like traditional Japanese kendo supplies, as well as golf bags and golf clubs. There's a ton of snowboards hidden under here. I may or may not have bought a snowboard and boots last time I was here. They also do have a ton of fishing gear here, but their snowboards are actually in half decent condition and really reasonably priced. Like 500 yen, that's close to what, $3 American with the current exchange rate, for a snowboard with bindings on it. And you could probably sell that on Yahoo auction for 5-10 times the price, if not more. And when I spoke to the owner this morning, he said that that was one of the hopes, that people would come, fix things up, find something that they either want to keep or sell and be able to get it at a reasonable enough price. Such a wild business model for most people. And we have even more snowboards over here, as well as skiing supplies up here. It also makes me laugh that all the canes and walking assistants here are in among the sporting supplies, because you know, if you get to the point where you're using this, walking on its own is almost certainly a sport. But entire bins back here for things like baseballs and golf balls and tennis balls, and they're all 10 yen a piece. That's what, 6-7 cents? And there's still a little bit more to see over here. This entire container here is all filled with old furniture and antique furniture. And again, a lot of it in incredible condition for, that's 200 yen. That's like $1.50. You've got a desk here for 1,500 yen. This chair, which I actually own this exact chair in my studio in all black, that's 800 yen, and I think I paid like 5,000-6,000 for mine. I also just really love the old wall art and dividers. Even back here, they have these really old classic chest of drawers. Like, look at these here for 5,000 yen for this one, or even 1,500 for these. These are the kind of things that you could fix up and definitely sell for way, way more, or just keep and really enjoy. And then when we get back here, we've got these giant sheds that are just, again, we've got, look at this wooden table. This is a beautiful like bubble era meeting table for 4,000 yen. Right here, tons of supplies for building out a home. There's also an entire room here just for a variety of chairs. There's a giant mirrored door. Somebody just didn't want to get rid of a door, so here it is. And if you've ever come to Japan and thought, oh, I want to do looming as a hobby, well, you could get yourself a loom right here and just start making your own fabrics. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this in a Japanese thrift store, or just grab yourself a mannequin for 500 yen. I have a friend in Canada who absolutely loves the tanuki, and sorry dude, I can't send that to you. Found something not too dissimilar to this at a thrift store in Kyoto, and a viewer was like, I need that, I'll give anything to get it. And we tried our best to send it, but it wasn't an option. We cannot ship it overseas. And then this entire area over here is all a variety of doors, glass doors, sliding doors, paper doors, you name it. And then in here is something that makes me wish that this was a lot closer to Tokyo, because anytime that I ever need to buy wood for doing projects or shelving and whatnot, going to a home center is such a pain in the butt, and it's so expensive. But they have so much here, and it's all actually really reasonably priced. Like, you can get an entire plank like the one I'm walking on for 300 yen. This is 200 yen. This is like a woodworker's dream area out here. Like, look at these giant chunks right here, does it have a price? You're looking at 10 and 12,000 yen. So you're looking at maybe, I don't know, $70 to $90 American for these giant slabs of wood. These here as well, to make desks and tables would take a ton of work, but to have a starting price of 10,000 yen or around $70, $80 for that is just spectacular. Has anybody seen or remember the documentary of the Japanese woodworkers who made the custom desk for me? Because a slab of wood that size does not start anywhere near that price. And the tunnel I wanted to show you is right around here. As I approach this tunnel, cold air is coming out of here, and this is part of the old JR train lines. And I asked the owner if we can actually step inside, and he said unfortunately it hasn't been well enough cared for to have the structural integrity to do so, but we did do a walk through some of these tunnels on the Tokyo Lens Explore channel just a little while back. Yeah, there are parts of brick that are starting to come loose up there, but that road trip through this area searching for hidden spots is how I originally stumbled on this place here. And I actually have an entirely separate video of this uncut on the Tokyo Lens Explore channel that I'll drop next week. So I'll leave a link to that if you want to check it out. And if you actually want to see inside of tunnels like this and what it's like to explore them and the hidden spots around this area in case you want to come out, I'll leave a link to a playlist of videos all in this area and the main video so you can do that. But I'm actually going to go buy a bunch of stuff, and by popular request, I will give you a quick clip at the end of what I bought. But what did you think here? What was your favorite room and what would you buy? Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. All right, so for around 1,600 yen, just over 10 American dollars, I of course grabbed the Polaroid camera as a display item. I wonder if it works. I also got a giant harmonica just because, well, I've always wanted a giant harmonica. And of course, I got the giraffe. It feels like a good sofa cushion. What did you think? There are a ton of hidden gems in this area, by the way. So if you want to see more, again, that playlist will be linked, and I have no idea how to use my tripod right now, but thank you so much for coming out and hanging out today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the place, and we'll see you again real soon.